In 2010, Cowes Week, it's obviously got the normal 900 to 1,000 boats and the spectacle that they make, split into 40 classes of all different sizes. But in addition to that, we're really pleased that we've negotiated with OC Events and we're going to see the UK edition of the Extreme 40 Sailing Series. And this year they're going to be here for 6 days, first 6 days of Cowes Week. First 3 days starting at 3 in the afternoon. And then the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday starting later at 5 o'clock. And the later start is mainly to give our competitors the chance to actually watch the catamarans racing. And then additionally we've been working very hard with Team Origin, which is the British challenger for the next America's Cup, and absolutely delighted that Team Origin and the current holders of the America's Cup, BMW Oracle Racing, are going to come to Cowes Week for 4 days of match racing, and then we'll have the Artemis Challenge, IMOCA Open 60s racing around the island on Tuesday. Small but sweet on the Sunday and Monday. We've got 6 Artemis 20s racing with disabled and disadvantaged sailors. So all in all, sailing is going to be fantastic. We work with the local community, both marine and the high street businesses, very closely. We have a shoreside committee and the CBA, the Cowes Business Association, the Isle of Wight Council and Cowes Town Council all sit on that, and that reports direct to our main board. So we directly work with local businesses. And then of course Cowes Week brings 8 to 8,500 sailors, the 1,000 boats, 100,000 spectators to Cowes, and that obviously has a huge impact on local businesses, marine and otherwise. I think the marine sector has really changed. If you look back a long way, if you look back to the Second World War sort of time, then Cowes was a major shipbuilding port, and obviously it's no longer that. And the change has been very deliberately to the leisure market and small commercial boats. And the marine businesses, the boat yards in Cowes are still very, very busy, and there's a lot of boat building and boat repair going on. So it's changed into a vibrant small boat manufacturing and repair area. The scale of recreational boating and how that's increased over the last couple of decades has been driven by a number of factors. One is the effective decrease in costs in boat ownership. It doesn't seem like that as a boat owner, but compared to 20 or 30 years ago, you can own a boat an awful lot cheaper than you used to be able to. There's also a trend towards chartering, and that has led to a much more efficient use of boats. So whereas historically you owned a boat and you went sailing in it when you could, nowadays more and more you get boats that are being privately owned but chartered out when the owners can't use them, and that just further increases the amount of boating activity. I think the increase in sailing activity generally in the Solent, not just in Cowes but generally in the Solent, has had a huge impact on tourism and leisure and all of the industries that support that. So both the marine industry in servicing engines, making and servicing sails, etc., but also the restaurants, the pubs and clubs, and all of the ancillary businesses all benefit from the huge increase in leisure boating that has been in the last 20 or 30 years. The Cowes Outer Harbour project, I think, is long needed. We definitely need an outer breakwater. As a boat owner who keeps his own little boat in Cowes, I can testify to the sometimes devastating effect a northerly wind has on the harbour. And the breakwater, although it's a pragmatic compromise between what would be perfect and what the art of the feasible, I think it'll be great. It'd be nicer, it may be, if the breakwater was half a mile further out and twice as long, but the cost would be just stupidly prohibitive. My only slight concern with the project as a whole is whether it meets the long-term needs of Red Funnel and the ferry service, and whether it might be better to include what I think is their preferred development of redeveloping the Shape Mud area into a new ferry port, leaving the River Medina itself mainly for leisure use. I think once the outer harbour project is completed, there will obviously be changes. There will be a slight loss of area for swinging moorings, but there will be more marina berths. Undoubtedly, the racing yachts will have to sail outside the new breakwater, and that'll cause a little bit of head scratching for the first year, but that'll soon become the norm, and just that's what you do. And so, although there'll be changes, I haven't seen any that are going to be detrimental in any major way to Cowes Week or to other regattas. I'm absolutely convinced that the Outer Harbour project, and particularly the breakwater, will be great for Cowes businesses because, as I said, in a northerly or northeasterly wind, the harbour can become pretty untenable, and making it a safer and more attractive place will just increase the amount of people coming to Cowes. Not so much for events like Cowes Week, 'cause it doesn't really affect us very much, but for just overnight stops, and that will have a beneficial effect on all the local businesses. My view on development generally is that as long as it's thought of with long-term goodness in mind, then most development is almost by definition good. It's when short-term profits come to the fore that development becomes bad. And I think generally the island has a good record of looking longer term rather than just looking for a quick profit. From a perspective of Cowes Week, what we really need is good support infrastructure, so that when 1,000 boats and 8,000 competitors come to Cowes, and all the spectators as well, all of the businesses, support businesses, in order to cope with that. Our main challenge is making sure that Cowes Week is a must-do regatta in the eyes of the sailor, making sure that we keep it so it's up to date and satisfying the needs of our competitors, and also make it more and more so that it deals with the spectator element, both locally and around the world through the web and video streaming and so on. My view on the island's marine sector, this is looking from one particular segment of it, is that it's not in decline at all. It's vibrant. You can get things done. You can get things done at prices that on the mainland are exceptional, which is really nice. Again, being a boat owner myself, I have. There's some things I do on my own boat and some things I have to get done, and I'm glad I live on the island because there are the skills, the boat yards, and at reasonable price as well. So my view is, and just look at it from if you like, from a user, that the marine business on the island are far from in decline. Cowes Week Ltd, we look to the future all the time. It's very easy to get bogged down in what's happening this year, and this is a particularly busy time of year, obviously. But our long-term plan really is to ensure that we keep listening to our stakeholders, both our competitors and to our spectators, and also to the local community, to make sure that Cowes Week in the future remains the biggest, one of the best, and a must-do regatta, and a festival which is so important to the Isle of Wight and to the whole surrounding area.